Alright guys, welcome back to Wealth and Travel on a Dime. So today I have to make a video that I'm really not looking forward to because it shows my failures and they are strictly my failures. But we're going to discuss a video I made a while back that has actually become pretty popular called Hiking for Weight Loss. Now, it basically encapsulated what Missy and I did in 2020 and 2021 to basically hike off and diet down and deal with our weight problem. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you some blood work and stuff over the past 4 years because I have blood work done every year. Now, it's not going to be in a great quality because you're not allowed to screenshot or screen record the app that I get my results on. But I just want you to understand that everybody's diet's going to be different. So how these numbers are affecting me may not be how they affect you. But it shows the importance of blood tests because just because you lean out doesn't mean you're healthy. Just because you physically get out and work every day doesn't mean you're healthy. So with all that in mind, I want to kind of run you through what I did with my diet, run you through what happened at my latest doctor's appointment, and where we're at now, and then we'll go over the blood work, and then we'll talk about going forward. Now, if you're wondering why Missy is not here, I actually asked her not to be here because I love my wife, but she's going to give me the same look my doctor gave me, which is, why did you change things when they work? You know, it's that look like your mom would give you when you're like, oh, I changed the way I clean the house. Don't you like it? And she's like, you did a terrible job. So it's kind of that thing. Nothing against my wife. I know she's being supportive and she understands, but this video is hard enough for me to make the way it is. So in case you guys haven't realized, I've gained back about 45 or 50 pounds of what I lost. I lost more than that, and don't get me wrong, I could go back to eating one meal a day, doing like 2,000 calories right before I go to bed, and I could probably drop 20 pounds in a month. I mean, it wouldn't be super healthy, and that's what I'm going for this time is my health and not so much my weight. I mean, the weight will come. But as I've started straightened out, I'm already down 10 pounds in less than a month. But what we're going to talk about here is my diet. And just because somebody tells you you should be a carnivore, or you should eat keto, or you should eat paleo, or you should be vegetarian, or you should be vegan, don't listen to them. Listen to your body. Listen to your blood work. Follow up. Check your blood pressure. Check how much exercise you're getting, because I can promise you one diet will not work for you. You'll have to go through and try them, or basically test with your body to find out what works for you. Now, there is right off the top, if you're eating fast food, then the diet that works for you is stop eating fast food. If you want to be healthier and you want to lose weight or whatever, stop eating fast food. That's not a diet. That's poor eating habits. That said, I almost never eat anything fast food. I almost never consume sugar if I have a way around it, unless it's naturally occurring in the food. And that's going to be important in this conversation. So in 2020 and 2021, we were following a strict keto or maybe like a dirty carnivore. But basically, I understand the need for greens in my diet. Spinach, salads, carrots, things like that. But I want to keep the carbs from fibers low and take in a lot of protein and basically fuel my body off fats. So for that first 2 years we saw that weight loss, that's how I was fueling my body. And I would go to the doctor and she'd be like, your cholesterol is slightly elevated, but everything else got better. I've always had high triglycerides. They say it's not genetic, but my dad has it. My brother has it. I mean, we have high triglycerides and they're like, it's not genetic. Well, we're not all eating bad. We all eat different diets. But anyways, they reduced, a bunch of things reduced. My health got better. I started losing weight, which of course made my numbers look even better. She's like, whatever you're doing, it's working. She is not a fan of calling things keto or carnivore. That's just not how my doctor works. But she's like, you're on the road to complete health. And when I went back in 2021 and she saw all the weight I'd lost and where I was at, and, you know, she checked out my step counter. I was getting 10,000 plus steps a day. She's like, this is where you need to be. This is where you need to stay. And this is where things went downhill because I thought I knew more than other people. Number one, I let money be a contributing factor to my diet. What I mean by that is a bag of chickpeas or a bag of beans or, a thing of potatoes and a thing of onions and different things like that are very cheap compared to buying like steaks. Chicken had gone up to almost like $3.50 a pound. Eggs have gone through the roof, at this point. And I'm just like, okay, this is getting really expensive. So I'm like, okay, I can get all these micronutrients I need. I'll fuel my body off carbs. I'll still eat my protein. I'll get my 1 gram for body weight and I'll just fuel off carbs. And that's when the problem started. Now, mind you guys, once again, I'm still not eating sugar except for the natural sugars that occur in, these carbs, because carbs are basically sugar. There's fiber, and then sometimes in certain things there's sugar alcohols, but essentially everything else, your net carbs, are sugar. That's what they are. And that's, if not, that's what your body turns them into. It depends on how you want to get technical about it. So clearly my weight started to change then. I was still doing my calories. I still knew where I was. I was getting my steps. I was working very, very hard. And I just was slipping. My body was changing. I tried to add a little bit more of my 5x5 workout. And it still didn't work. Now, if you fast forward, and some of you may know that I was working on this tiny house and I fell from a ladder on top of the second story, fell probably 25, 30 feet and smashed on the side of my ankle. It's already been surgically repaired. It's full of bolts and stuff. And that put me down. I mean, I could get around on crutches or, hold on to things and stuff, but I couldn't do a whole lot. My ankle was, bloated. And it still swells up every day. So I kind of used that as a crutch, which made it worse. But in my most recent doctor's appointment back in August, right before we went on our couples trip, the doctor said, we need to talk. And I was like, okay. I said, yeah, I know I got to deal with my weight. And she's like, no. All my panels had gotten worse. Everything had gotten worse. It was actually worse than when I started. I was healthier before I started all this. Now, I don't have all the insulin and all that stuff here prepared for you guys. But let's just say, when you look at the whole thing, I am like this close to being like pre-diabetic to diabetic range. I don't eat sugar, guys. I don't drink sugary drinks. Now, my doctor doesn't like to put labels on things. She's like, we got to do a whole bunch of tests. It's going to cost you a whole bunch of money so you can put a name on it. That's basically how she thinks. And I appreciate that because I'm the same way. If there's a problem, let's search it down. If we already were doing it right once and suddenly we change things, I change things, and we screw it all up, it's not hard to figure out what the problem is here. And the truth is, it can be unsaid. You can believe whatever term you want, but it's insulin resistance. That is the end of the day. All this piles into one little box, which is insulin resistance. So I can have a person sit next to me that is the healthiest person in the world that's, say, a vegetarian. Their diet is going to kill me because I have an insulin resistance to the foods they're eating. Now, when you start getting high triglycerides, people start getting worried and want to put you on medicine. My doctor's not a fan of putting you on pills, but if she starts talking about it, you're screwing up. You're messing up bad. So she made it very clear that I would have to be on some medicines, one being a statin and one being, something to deal with my triglycerides, and a couple other things. And I'm just listening here, and I'm going to be on multiple medications every day for the rest of my life, really. And I think she was just trying to push me to make the decision for myself rather than being told to do it, which is you need to go back to your old diet. Now, I want to make something clear because I'm a very believing person of whatever diet you want or however you want to live your life, do it, as long as you're not bothering anyone else. But with as many people as there are on this planet, I'm going to tell you that the future is going to be plant-based because you can't feed this many people if not. It's literally not possible. I mean, there's a third of the world today lives plant-based just because that's all they can afford. Not a choice. So I'm just telling you, when you see all these people growing massive fields of wheat or rye or grains or beans or legumes, there's a reason for this. And I do feel that if we want sustainability, we have to lead to a more plant-based society just because we'll be able to feed more people at ease. But genetically, some of us ain't going to work like that. It's just not going to happen. I'm just going to tell you it's not going to happen. There is no real medicine that can fix this because the side effects are mostly horrendous and there's no guarantee anything will work. So what I've done is I've started back on my keto/carnivore diet. Now, please be aware, I get my greens in. Spinach, salads, some carrots, celery, green beans. Fiber-based greens are very important to your digestive tract. I don't care what anyone tells you. I do a lot of eggs. I do a lot of beef. I do some pork. And I am basically fueling my body again off of fats. Now, like I said, I'm down 10, 12 pounds. Missy's down, I think, 10 or 12 pounds too. In a month's time with no real change to our lifestyle. Eating the same amount of calories, if not more, but losing that much weight. Now, I'm going to show you these numbers. And I think it's important to understand that the overall cholesterol, and this is where things don't make a whole lot of sense. The cholesterol in my numbers, while this is just your regular lipid panels, the overall numbers, and this is what my doctor even was dumbfounded about. And she said the one thing that she said to me back in 2021. As a medical community, we do not fully understand cholesterol yet. She admitted that. And she said that again during this because my true cholesterol, the blood serum one, is way higher at the reading when I was on a heavier carb diet, feeding my body off carbs. My cholesterol was way higher than I was feeding my body with fats. And that's the opposite we're taught. Now, is that different in somebody else? Probably. If you're not insulin resistant, it may work differently. But I don't know. So, let's go ahead and get into these numbers. I'm not going to go deep dive because I'm not a doctor. But I can show you the numbers. They're labeled with the year. Like I said, excuse the quality because they were screenshotted by taking a phone and taking a picture of my phone because that's the only way I could do it. So let's take a look. All right, guys. So as you can see, here's 2020. Here's 2021. Here's 2022. Here's 2023. Now, all these were done at the same place. What I want to show you, though, is this panel is slightly different because this is just a lipid panel. This is lipid panel with cholesterol, HDL, lipid panel with cholesterol, HDL, same thing here. So this was just ordered slightly differently. She wanted the cholesterol of this one because they don't understand cholesterol. So she was using this as baseline for her own study. So let's start off here. 2020 was when I really hit carnivore hard. All right. In 2021, it was kind of more like keto, and then everything here was transitioning from 2022, 2023 into carb based. So if we look here, we've got triglycerides at 267. All right. That's actually really, really, really good for me. I mean, I was over 600 at one point. Now, my HDL was low at 32. All right. And my VLDL cholesterol was 53, which is high, but not insanely high. Okay. And somewhere in here, numbers changed where they're basically moving the numbers up so it's more acceptable because the normal American diet is changing and we're getting fatter. Now, we don't need to go into all of that, but let's keep going here. So we moved to 2021, and it gives us a little more information because she ordered the panels a little different. But this is where I was like really getting into keto. I was leaning it down. I was having a spinach or some kind of light, fluffy green salad every night with my dinner. You know, I was pushing my carbs to like 30 a day, net carbs. And I felt pretty good, to be honest. And I went to the bathroom more, even though that is literally just because of the fiber. But everybody thinks they have to poop every single day or multiple times a day to be healthy, and that's not true. They think they're constipated if not. But moving on, so my triglycerides went up to 394. 267 went up to 394. So we're going in the wrong direction. And that's where you start to see there's problems as I add more plant matter and carb matter into my diet. Now, my HDL went from 32 to 34. That's a nominal change. I wouldn't worry too much about that. But here's where the markers start to show up. The VLDL cholesterol, take a look here, it went from 53 to 66. And then you got the HDL ratio down here at 5.8, which didn't have it on the last one. Now, my LDL, as you can see here, was 47 back in 2020. Now it's 98 in 2021. So I'm almost up to the high side. So this is all meat, almost no carbs. This is adding carbs in and all my numbers are getting worse. Literally getting worse. So fast forward to 2022. This is where I start basically fueling my body off of carbs. Now, my total cholesterol, which had been 132, it went up when I went keto to 198. It is now 213. It is now high. So a cholesterol diet, what they teach us in school is eating meats and stuff, your cholesterol is going to go up. Well, not exactly true. So my cholesterol went up. Now, mind you, I have a cleaner diet than 90% of people out there. I don't go to McDonald's. You might see fast food enter my body 5 times in a year, if you're lucky. And usually even then, I'm ordering stuff that's a little healthier. You know, like if they have a grilled chicken option, I'll go with that before anything. But to continue on, we are now in the high zone of cholesterol, so I'm in danger. All right. Triglycerides, 391, pretty much staying on par, but you see how low I was just eating meat. So I just went up, and that little variance there is nothing. It could be just a day of the week. My HDL, 34, it went down to 32 here. Once again, very small amount of variance. My VLDL cholesterol, 66, now it's up to 68. So when you look at my LDL, it was 98. I was pushing the limits because 99 is your max out. Now it's 113. So my LDL is high. And my HDL ratio is 6.7. It went up from 5.8 to 6.7. So while these numbers are either in line or slightly worse than the year before. And here we go. This is why everybody's confused right here. Because I was pretty much 100% fueling my body every day with lean meats, which means I wasn't fueling myself with fats and carbs. So if we look here, total cholesterol, all right, 207. That's better than here, but 207. Look at my triglycerides, guys, 460. Now, if you were eating peanut butter or pizzas or any of that stuff, this would make sense. I don't eat those things. You can go look at my Facebook, or you can go over to MeWe, which is a service kind of like Facebook, and there's a group called Food Fight, and you will go in there and be able to see all the healthy things I was eating. But I was eating what they tell you, like, oh, eat chicken breast, eat rice, eat beans, and all this stuff is stuff that I'm washing and rehydrating up, you know what I mean? Soaking the beans in water and cooking them. I'm not buying crap. I'm not doing it in cans or anything like that. So now let's look at HDL cholesterol. 31, pretty much in line with 32. So, you know, that really didn't change. But the VLDL, we're at 77. We're now even higher. So we've gone from 53 to 66 to 68 to 77. All right, are we seeing the pattern here? And then 99 is our LDL. So we actually backed off a little bit on the LDL to come back in within range. And then when you go down here to the HDL ratio, it's 6.7, just like it was here. 5.8 here. And that doesn't have a reading here because it wasn't ordered on the panel. So you can clearly see these are my best numbers. And then if you were to look at the insulin panels and all the other materials she's got, and then the secondary values, because if something like this comes up like it did here, she'll order secondary values, and there's a place I go right there in my doctor's office, and they'll pull another half vial or vial of blood and retest me, and then she just sends me a message telling me what's going on through that app. So it's all here in the paperwork, guys. I mean, this doesn't lie. You're going from 267, the lowest I've ever had triglycerides in my entire life, to 460. You're going total cholesterol of in the green, almost at the low end of total cholesterol, 132 just eating meat. Just eating meat, guys. To a total cholesterol of 207, feeding my body off carbs. And once again, this is not what's going on with everybody. If you've got issues, I can't guarantee this is what's going on. You have to do your own blood work. But if I continue on this and I continue my carb-based lifestyle, I will be on medicine, or I may even get to the point where I'm diabetic. And there's no other recourse than to say I'm insulin resistant. And I think a good part of the population is. But I think we make ourselves that way because when I was young, you know, I didn't eat the best diet. And even in my 20s, I worked high-stress jobs, and I mean, 2 1-liters of Mountain Dew and a couple pizza pockets, and that was what I ate for the day till dinner. So I may have damaged my own body doing this. But where we go from here, that's what really matters. But I think you guys can see the importance of getting your blood work done and find out what's going on with your body, because I can lift things that most guys can't pick up. You know, I go do firewood all day. I'm building houses. I'm doing demolition. When you follow my Facebook, I'm always into something. And I do almost everything physically myself. I don't have tractors. I don't have anything. So if you think because you work or you think because you look good that you're healthy, I would get your blood checked. Because I'm going to tell you right now, most of us aren't. So now the question comes, what's the plan going forward? What are we going to do now? I'm still fighting this ankle. I've got some other injuries I'm fighting, but I'm not going to let them be excuses. I've had those holding me back for too long. I need you guys to understand that my diet is not so strict. Let me tell you something. If my granddaughter wants to go have an ice cream cone, I will go have an ice cream cone with her, but I will buy the smallest one that I can possibly have for myself. If I want to have some of my buddy Willie's chili, I'm going to have me some Willie's chili. If Gretchen makes her famous cupcakes, they're vegan cupcakes, I'm going to eat vegan cupcakes. But the difference is the other 99.9% of the time, I'm going to be on it. My diet is going to be in line. This is a problem. This is me heading towards not being able to see my grandkids grow up. And most people be like, oh, it's not that bad. It's that bad. My doctor wouldn't start talking to me about diabetes if it wasn't bad. And then with this ankle swelling up every night, you want to get scared? Have somebody start talking to you about diabetes and your ankle swells up like this big every night. That'll scare you. I need to get my 10,000 steps every single day, period. And I have actually got to the point now where I'm back to what I used to do, which is if I'm sitting there with my wife in the evening and we're watching a show and a commercial comes on, or an ad on a YouTube video, say, I get up and I go do something. And I don't sit down till the ad's over. Or I'll just walk back and forth in the house and just talk to her. Or we actually have learned how to walk back and forth in our little house and not hit each other. Now when we move down here, a tiny house, we can just walk the steps. I mean, you're going to get a killer workout. I don't feel that weights are as big a deal as they used to be for me because I'm going slow, so I won't be losing strength. I do have some shoulder issues going on right now, so I'm not messing with weights. We're going to do this right. We're going to do it slow. My goal, because it is the beginning of October right now, so I got October, November, December. So by January 1st, I'm looking to push off another 20, 25 pounds and then reassess my weight then. I may even go in and pay to have the extra blood panel done just to see where we're at. I kind of want to know where I'm at because I have to find the weight that my body wants to be at and wants to perform well at because I can't get to the point where I'm so skinny I'm losing strength. And at a time that I got there. But at the same time, I can't be carrying all this extra weight and I definitely am not going to be able to fuel my body every day with carb-based. Now, my diet may seem bland and boring to a lot of people. But when you get past the fact of, I enjoy cooking, I enjoy eating. But when you get past that and you look at the thoughts of your long-term health and the fact that whether you're going to be around for your kids, your grandkids, your family members, or just you want more time on this earth, you start to make decisions on what you're doing based on what information you have around. We're going to go, and Missy's numbers are a little better than mine. She's not anywhere where she has to worry about diabetes, but she knows the weight she's carrying is not healthy. And she wears out faster, and we are getting older. So we need to fight Father Time. And the truth is, when it comes down to it, if we don't start taking better care of ourselves, we're going to spend more money on hospitals, spend more money on pills, doctor visits, even worse, specialists. So if we want to continue our lifestyle of traveling and enjoying life and building wealth, the only real way to do it is to take care of yourself, to be healthy. And I felt like it was wrong of me to make that video and show you guys how I cut all that weight and not come back and say, hey, I made changes and those changes didn't work. It didn't work because they don't work. They didn't work because they didn't work for me. And I felt that was very disingenuous not to tell you guys that. And it's the long way around of telling you guys that I hold myself accountable, but also I hold myself accountable to you guys. You know, I don't want to give you guys bad information, and I don't want to hide things from you. I want everyone to know right out front what's going on. And I just showed you my blood work. I mean, I don't know how much more I can open up and show you guys. You know what I mean? So that's just my little video here. I put this together because I felt really guilty. I mean, it's like, okay, this guy's, tearing out Wildcat Hollow, coming out looking like, somebody cut 15, 20 pounds off of him. And then a year and a half, 2 years later, he looks like he's almost the same size as before. So it's real disingenuous to say something and do something and make a video and then not come back and be like, hey, you're fat again. Why are you fat again? Are you just not going to talk about it? Just my thing. So we'll do an update on this channel around the first of the year, and we'll see if we hit those goals. The goals now is not losing weight. The goals is to get healthy. And to get healthy, I mean, like I said, I can go drop the weight. That's no problem. But if you want to get healthy, you're going to do it slow. You're going to do it mostly with diet. And you're going to do it just with basic, solid, slow, steady state cardio. You're going to build your body to this, not just force it and, pressure your body and stress it more, because that's not what we want to do. We want to get the body to relax, get it in a mode of healthiness going into the winter. Because here in Ohio, these winters can be rough. And it's really easy to sit around and chomp on donuts. It's not so easy to be like, okay, I got to get up and get 10,000 steps. Let me get strapped up and get out in the cold. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. If you went this long, I greatly appreciate you. I understand this was long-winded. I just felt it was important to put it out there. Probably going to name this one Fat to Fit to Fat. And maybe there'll be another one that'll be the Fat to Fit to Fat to Fit. Let's hope. Because I'm going to do everything I can to straighten out my health and be around for my kids and my grandkids. And I hope you guys join us for the journey. And if you haven't already, and guys, come on. I just put all my blood work, all my information out there to you. The least you could do is help me out by going down and hitting subscribe, join the family, be here so you can come back to, maybe you get to see me fail. Win or lose, you're going to see it. You're going to get to see everything that happens. So go ahead and drop us a like if you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, you can dislike it. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys struggling with diet as well? Do you get your blood work done, and are you monitoring it the way that I am, comparing it to previous years to try to get what's best for you? Are you on any medication or any of the ones that I talked about? And have you looked at ways to get your numbers in line to get off of them? And with that said, I appreciate each and every one of you. And if any of you were striving to do better and saw that we had kind of gained a lot of the weight back and it hurt the momentum you had, I'm sorry. We're going to try and get it together here. We're going to push hard. We're going to do well. We're going to improve. And that, as a human being, is all you can do, is try and wake up every day and improve. And with that said, I will see you guys in the next one.